Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to talk about cheaters in Dead by Daylight and how I've noticed an increase, at least personally. I can't really say that my anecdotal experience has been, what everyone is experiencing, but I've definitely experienced a lot more as of late, and a lot more to me is like 2 or 3, because I almost never actually see cheaters. But the problem is the types of cheaters that I've been encountering recently. These are not the obvious ones that just fly around or you just load in the game and you're just instantly on basement hook. Like, those are the obvious ones, and it's almost hard to be mad at those, because every once in a while you're like, okay, what the fuck, that's kind of funny, but that doesn't really matter. No, we're talking about the worst types of cheaters, the subtle cheaters, the cheaters that make you feel like you're going insane. They basically just spend their entire match gaslighting you. Wait, does he actually have haste? Wait, can he see me through the wall? Wait, does he have this perk? Wait, no, he might have this perk. I've been playing this game for 8 years now, and there are still times where I'm like, is that guy cheating? I can't really tell. And a lot of this video, at least at the end of it, I want you guys to look at what I observed in one of my games the other day and determine whether or not this person was cheating. So it can be a fun little just study for everyone to do at the same time. But these subtle cheaters have long made everyone feel like they're losing their minds, since the dawn of subtle cheating in this game. Because there are so many things in DBD that could explain why somebody might see you through a wall, or they might explain why someone's moving faster. Like, if you've never read what, Blood Pact and Power of Two do, and you chase 2 survivors using that, you would definitely think that person's cheating. Basically, you need to have a comprehensive knowledge of every single perk and mechanic and effect in Dead by Daylight to have a good gauge on whether or not people are actually cheating. And even then, sometimes it's still kind of hard to tell, because again, there's just so many different little instances of haste and aura reading and blah, blah, blah. You can't really tell every time. So I want you guys to watch this game and tell me whether or not you think the Meg on top is the one that is actually cheating. And I'm just going to go through it play by play here, because honestly, for most of the match, it doesn't really seem like she is. It only seems like she is right at the end, but I want to get your guys' feedback on this. So here is my first actual interaction with her in this match. And this is not something that speed hacks or wall hacks will do anything to help you with. This is just her kind of being dumb, and she immediately gets grabbed. So basically what goes on here is I'm chasing her. She wants the pallet stun on me, so she kind of waits at the pallet. And she doesn't time it right, so I hit her, and I know she's going to drop the pallet on me after that, so I back up to be on the same side of her pallet, and she doesn't know I have Enduring, so I have Enduring and immediately grab her. So that's the thing. No amount of wall hacks or speed hacks would save her from going down in that scenario, and this is actually, strangely, the first supporting evidence that she's cheating, because most cheaters are just terrible at the game. They have no idea how to play DBD. So that was just a really dumb play on any account. You should not have done any of the things she done there, and so that was the first thing. The next is her name. Obviously, given recent events, that is clearly an inflammatory name, regardless of how you feel about this situation. It's clearly tended to bait people into getting upset or talking about it or whatever. So that's usually another telltale sign that people are cheating. They will try to bait you. They will teabag you. They will do all this stuff because they know they're being little shits on top of that. But that was the first interaction with her. Now, the second interaction with her is kind of the same thing. She just plays terribly. Even if she's running faster or has wall hacks, this wouldn't save her. So any good survivor there would have dropped that pallet when I walked through it. That is the only correct play to make there. So now what she decides to do is play the unsafe side of this pallet, where I can basically lunge around the entire thing. Again, no amount of wall hacks will save you from anything there. So up until this point, nothing she's done I could ever possibly tell that she has wall hacks. There was no indication of it, because every play that she's been making is incredibly stupid, and she has not been in a scenario where wall hacks would even help her. So up until this point, there would be no indication whatsoever that she's cheating. But let's look at the actual thing I want to look at now. So this is where it starts getting a little too suspicious. The way that she plays this wall, that fake was perfectly good. That was a great play. That had nothing really to do with cheats. I don't think she was running faster than normal. I think she has wall hacks, and I want to show you exactly why I think that. She goes to sabotage a hook there with her toolbox, so I hook over here. And now this is the weirdest part. Watch how perfectly she tracks me through this wall. Now, I don't think she knows I can see her aura, so she has no incentive to hide the fact that she has wall hacks. She perfectly follows me through this wall. This is not a check spot. This is her perfectly following me through moonwalks, Like, she can just see me through the wall here. And because she doesn't know I can see her aura, because she doesn't know I have Lethal Pursuer to extend that aura reading, she's not really trying to hide the fact that she can see me through a wall here. This is not a check spot or anything like that. A check spot would be you wait right here, right where she is now, and you sit there and wait for me to appear on either side, and then you run to the opposite window. That's what a check spot is. Here, I am literally like moonwalking, and she's perfectly reacting to me turning. That is impossible to see. This is not one of those glitched walls where you can see the red light through the wall. Even if that was the case, I'm still moonwalking here. She is perfectly followed me through this wall. Now, some people in my chat were like, oh, it's probably Kindred. I'll just spoiler to the end of the game. No one on the team has Kindred. So she has no aura reading. There's no aura reading in effect. She doesn't have a key. There is nothing that lets her currently see what is going on now. She is perfectly reading me through the wall. That is the first part I found to be very suspicious. Now, again, a good survivor in this scenario is typically not going to get hit anyway because they're going to check spot right there. But the movement she had while I could see her aura is not a check spot. That was someone that can directly see my model. Here's part number 2 that's suspicious. You guys can see what's going on in the scenario. I'm clearly fucked. Like, there's no way I can kill her. I got a hit after the game was over. She knows I don't have NOED. The exit gate is directly behind me. It is right here. She can just run to the exit gate. So what would any good survivor in this scenario do? She would just take the hit and run to the exit gate. That is the only correct play you would ever make. No one knows where the hatch is. The other people are dead. This guy left from the other gate on the opposite side of the map. The other gate is way over here. So watch what she does in this scenario. Again, the only correct play is to get hit and run through the gate, or maybe try to run to this gate. I don't know why you would. Both gates are accessible. I can't hit her twice before getting any of these gates. So what does she do in this scenario when there's only one objectively correct play to make? She runs back further into the map, where I actually have a chance to hit her now, and then actually body block her before she gets out. So this would be the dumbest possible thing that you could ever do, ever. She runs away from both gates, directly to the hatch, where no one possibly could have known it was there because everyone else was dead, and the other guy left in the other actual exit gate, and they were not a Survive with Friends. I think that is the most telling part there. The only correct play in this scenario is to get hit and run to the gate. She runs into the opposite corner of the map as if you drew a diagonal line as far away from the exit gates as possible. She runs directly towards the hatch. She can 100% see this hatch through a wall. There was no offering that puts it at the shack. She knew it was there and, taps it off with a teabag because, like I said, everyone that cheats like this tries to basically bait as much, aggression from you as possible. So that is what we're looking at here. That, I think, is a pretty definitive case of looking at a cheater who is so bad at the game, they didn't even have the chance to show that they were cheating up until a certain point. So those are the kind of cheaters where they could be around you all the time, and you don't really know it because a lot of the time they're so bad that it doesn't even change the outcome of the match. But when you see things like that, you realize how common cheaters like this actually are. Another clear telltale sign, by the way, is having hyperfocus with no stakeout. That is like the third holy grail trinity of finding someone that's cheating. Almost nobody on the planet can run hyperfocus without some form of thing aiding the build in some way. But cheaters can hit every single great skill check without fail, which means they can just hit every hyperfocus skill check every time. So if you see hyperfocus without stakeout or a toolbox or anything like that, that is usually another very good sign that they're cheating. So all in all, I absolutely think this person's cheating. I just wanted to post this to have you guys kind of look at it and give me feedback if I maybe missed something, maybe someone had a key or something like that. But there's no way, I just don't see a way that would actually be possible. So I definitely think this person's cheating. And I do think subtle cheating has risen a lot in the past couple of weeks, at least for me. I had another game later in the exact same stream where I noticed something very similar. But again, I'm second guessing myself. Well, maybe she did have some aura reading or something. It's like, no. That person, I'm like 99% sure was cheating, but I'd love to hear your feedback on it. And I hope your games are free from subtle cheaters because they are the absolute worst. They are terrible players that try to kid people into thinking that they're actually good. And it's just fucking sad and pathetic. But that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.